Hi, welcome to this video. On May 9th, the Sun in Taurus trines Pluto in Capricorn, which is retrograde. This is a time for revelation around our career, the way we make money, money in general, the entire systems around money, and what we decide to spend our money on is going to be looked at more deeply, and where we decide to support things in terms of money is going to be very much noticed, and what we're going to be coming to revelations about different things, about these things, about our careers, what we decide to do for our careers. Is it aligned with our value system? And are the things that we support aligned with our value system? Things like that are going to be looked at more deeply, and the way we decide to do these things is going to be transformed in some way or another. So it's a time for definitely making decisions that are aligned with what you believe in, your values, and what your deeper truth is, and what you want to see in the world. So these are going to be somehow brought up for you in some way. And Mercury conjuncts Uranus in Aries on May 9th. This is a great time of revelation. Truths will be revealed, and conversations about otherworldly things, extraterrestrials, will be at the top of our minds at this time. New ideas being brought forward, and new ways of doing things, new ways of being, new ways of thinking, and just intense revelations that could really shake up your world, shake up the way you view things, and being more objective is very likely to occur. You can see things from a greater perspective, and your mind will be opened, and you will receive much more insight about yourself and about your higher self and who you are and who you are meant to be, and conversations could be brought forward that help you to be more aligned with who you're meant to be. The South Node moves into Aquarius, and the North Node moves into Leo on May 9th. So, with the South Node moving into Aquarius, this is having us let go of old friendships that are not in alignment with our true path and who we are meant to be, especially our individual purpose. We may become more in tune with our individual purpose, especially in a more community setting. If you do find a sense of community, it will have to be one that is aligned with who you are. And that's going to be a major theme for about 18 months is finding your purpose and finding your tribe. The North Node in Leo is going to help us express who we are in a more dramatic way, and our heart will be more readily available to be expressed. Who we are at our true core and in our hearts will be expressed more easily. And there may be more of a focus around children and helping the children evolve and bringing their creativity and self-expression forward. So this is a great creative time. There's great creative potential here, and there's a possibility for new projects being started, especially around children or around creativity or expressing your heart, and maybe even more like musical or dramatic or things like that, that kind of creativity, where you are performing or in the limelight in some way, or kind of just being more noticed or something like that. There may be more opportunities to be noticed, and more people being noticed that are expressing their hearts, especially. And then on May 10th, there is a full moon in Scorpio. This full moon is going to be revealing what has been hidden, revealing our shadow side, and allowing us to integrate more with the parts of ourselves that we've neglected or have stuffed away or been rejecting. So this could be very transformative, of course. There will be darkness from under the surface being revealed, the negative as well as the positive, because with every negative aspect there is a positive spin that can be had. So being more accepting of the darkness within will help the collective integrate as well, because as within, so without. So as we transform the darkest places within ourselves, then more acceptance can be had in the outer world as well. Less vilification and more integration, and yeah, that way things get more whole. This is a time of creating wholeness within ourselves. And, you know, the sun rules our values. So that's like a high perspective of how we can, or not the sun, but the sun being in Taurus. Taurus rules our values. So that's what we are most aspiring to be like. But the parts of ourselves we reject is the opposite, being in Scorpio. So this is a time to be looking at the places that might not be where we want them to be, but if we come to accept those places within ourselves, then that's going to create that wholeness. So anyways, just want to add that little bit there because, you know, I didn't talk about the sun in Taurus and that whole thing. But it is important to see it that way. All right. Then Mars in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces on May 11th. So Mars in Gemini is allowing us to become more consciously aware, especially with the square to Neptune. This is going to make us more aware of the things that have been that we've been running from, in a way, the illusions that we've been allowing to occur in our lives. Sometimes we create illusions around things to help us cope, escape mechanisms and whatnot, delusions, things that are simply not really true, just to help ourselves imagine things as a better thing, to help us cope with reality to a degree. So Neptune in Pisces represents those things. Mars in Gemini is helping us become aware of those things and helping us confront these things, helping us talk about these things, and helping us to possibly be more rational or logical about things. And there's also a possibility of taking action to help promote the way that we want things to be, because with Neptune and Pisces, it does reveal how we imagine things to be and how we can imagine things to be. So this could be that we are taking action around things we wish to see in the world. So that, you know, it could be either way. Either we're looking at things where we haven't been realistic, or we're trying to bring into reality more of the things that we wish was realistic. All right. And then Mercury in Aries trines Saturn in Sagittarius on May 11th as well. This can help us actually bring about conversations that help us take action in things that we wish to bring into reality, especially around things we've been putting off and things that we've talked about doing before. Perhaps more conversations could come up around things that we've been talking about doing, and maybe we can even do something about those things that we've been putting off, and maybe it's weighing on us a bit because Saturn kind of tends to do that. Tends to put a weight on you about things that you've been meaning to do, especially because it's retrograde. But it could also be a time where you have a lot more mental focus to do those things, of course, but a lot more mental focus, especially around taking care of more tedious things, because Saturn is very slow, steady, and very focused. Mercury in Aries just gives us a bit of fire to get that done. And Mercury itself is very good at organization and mental focus in particular. This could also be a time where we are having more conversations about our beliefs and about where we stand in our beliefs at this time. I feel like things are subject to change as Saturn is moving retrograde and then it's gonna eventually move back forward again. Right now is a time of more contemplation around these things and more integration maybe around beliefs in general, and of course letting go of beliefs that are not in alignment anymore. But we could have a conversation about where we stand at this point in time, and our perspective is likely to shift at some point in the future. And then Mars in Gemini trines Jupiter in Libra. Jupiter's moving retrograde still on May 12th. So this is going to be amazing for taking some action on things that you've had your eyes set on for some time. This could be a time of riling up conversation about things and bringing about change through conversation and bringing about a new way of looking at things and a confrontation of things that you have been holding back potentially. Because Jupiter moving retrograde, Jupiter is somewhat centered around our own personal philosophy and our truth. So there can be, during the retrograde period, it is like a time of kind of absorbing for a while where you stand, allowing the perspective to kind of go with the flow in a way. There's a need to, of course, let go of things that are not actually in alignment with who you are at this time, but there's also a need to be more receptive to other people's ideas at this time. And it's kind of like taking a step back and watching things unfold and watching the world to like kind of let things like sort of play out this sort of scenario of sorts. What I have noticed with Jupiter retrograde is lately there's been a lot of revelation around how flights have been treating the people on them. Obviously that situation with United Airlines occurred during this time. Of course, Jupiter's also pretty close to squaring Pluto, so that could be a part of it as well. But there was another situation where people had to buy another ticket, and there's just been a lot of things coming up lately about that, which is interesting because Jupiter rules traveling. And it's just kind of a receptive time to take in the outer circumstance and not quite throw your perspective into the mix at this time. It's more like holding our cards closer to the vest. But with Mars in Gemini, it may have us confront these things. What are our beliefs? Where do we stand with these issues? Where are we in this whole grand scheme right now? And it may just have us having some conversations that help us confront the beliefs that we're holding within ourselves that need to be let go of, so that when it does move forward, we know where we stand and we're ready to be right there in the mix and standing in our truth with everything that has been happening in the most diplomatic and Libran way possible. So during this time it's been like holding back a bit, but when it moves forward, it's going to be coming out with a bang. There will be a peaceful movement, I predict, once it does move forward, and maybe creative ways of bringing our beliefs and philosophies forward, creative ways of being more expressive of how we believe things should be, and the most diplomatic way of doing that as well. So anyways, that's it for right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I appreciate it very much. Have an awesome time.